Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to welcome you to today's presentation. We'll be exploring comprehensive cybersecurity strategies in the modern threat landscape. Our focus will be on implementing zero trust, insider threat mitigation, and advanced Microsoft security solutions. Over the next few minutes, I'll guide you through key concepts and practical approaches to strengthen your security posture in today's rapidly evolving environment. Let's get started. Now, let's take a closer look at the evolving threat landscape. As organizations, we're facing more complex and multi-vector attacks than ever before. These attacks often exploit both external vulnerabilities, like weaknesses in our defenses, and internal risks, such as trusted users who might be compromised or malicious. It's crucial to recognize that the threat isn't coming from just outside the organization anymore. It's a blend of external and internal challenges. Additionally, the widespread adoption of hybrid and cloud environments has significantly expanded our attack surface. What used to be a clear perimeter security boundary no longer applies, making traditional security measures less effective. This means we need more holistic and adaptable strategies to protect our data and systems. And finally, modern cyber threats have evolved beyond just external actors. We're now seeing sophisticated insider threats, trusted employees or partners who might intentionally or unintentionally cause harm. These threats are often harder to detect because they come from within our own networks. All these points highlight why a comprehensive and modern cybersecurity strategy is essential in today's complex threat landscape. Let's take a closer look at spear phishing attacks. Once attackers succeed in stealing credentials, they can access internal systems either to move laterally within the network or to carry out financial fraud. This highlights how critical it is to protect credentials at all times. These emails are often quite deceptive. They contain malicious attachments or links that lead victims to credential harvesting sites, where attackers can steal login information. It's a very targeted approach, where attackers gather information about executives from platforms like LinkedIn, and then deduce email formats to impersonate trusted contacts convincingly. Spear phishing doesn't just happen randomly, it is highly targeted. Attackers focus on executives and personnel in finance or HR because these roles often have access to sensitive information or financial resources. The emails they craft are very realistic and tailored, making it much harder for recipients to spot the fraud. Understanding these tactics helps us see the importance of being vigilant and implementing strong security measures to defend against such sophisticated attacks. Let's talk about state-sponsored attacks. These are some of the most persistent and sophisticated threats we face today. They are often quite difficult to detect because they operate covertly and use advanced techniques. One of the biggest challenges is that their targets are not limited to just defense and NGOs. They also include commercial organizations, which they target for financial gain or sometimes to gain a competitive edge in the market. Their expanded targets mean that almost any organization could be at risk, depending on what they might be able to steal. The primary goal of these attacks is to steal valuable information, things like trade secrets, intellectual property, and even national secrets. It's important to understand that nation-state-sponsored hacking groups are becoming more active, better funded, and more organized than ever before. This makes them a formidable threat, requiring us to be vigilant and proactive in our cybersecurity strategies. Let's take a closer look at ransomware threats and how we can effectively respond to them. Prevention and rapid recovery strategies are absolutely critical in today's cybersecurity landscape. If we can prevent an attack or recover quickly, we can significantly reduce the damage caused. Mitigation strategies often include measures like regular backups, strong access controls, and employee training. But it's important to remember that if an attack does occur, simply paying the ransom doesn't guarantee your data will be restored. In fact, organizations often face extended downtime while waiting for their data to be fully restored, which can be costly and disruptive. When attackers demand a ransom, they typically withhold the decryption keys until they receive payment, usually in cryptocurrency. This creates a tense situation There's no guarantee that paying will actually get your data back, and it can encourage further criminal activity. Most ransomware attacks start with compromised credentials, things like stolen passwords or login details that attackers use to gain access to organizational networks. Once inside, they encrypt critical data, locking the organization out until they receive a ransom. So, understanding these points helps us see why a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy is essential, one that emphasizes prevention, quick response, and resilience. Only then can we stay ahead of these evolving threats and protect our data effectively. Let's take a closer look at device theft concerns. As we know, in today's digital world, protecting our devices is more important than ever. That's why comprehensive cybersecurity strategies are essential to address the modern threat landscape. One key point is that encryption and physical security measures are our first line of defense. They help safeguard sensitive data, even if a device falls into the wrong hands. Now, unencrypted data on stolen devices becomes a major vulnerability. Without proper encryption, this data can easily be resold or exploited by competitors or malicious actors. So, making sure data is encrypted is critical for minimizing risk. Another interesting point is how thieves exploit Bluetooth signals to locate devices, even when they're hidden in places like car trunks. This highlights the importance of understanding and managing Bluetooth security to prevent such exploitation. Finally, we're seeing a rise in petty and targeted thefts, laptops, smartphones, and other information devices. These thefts are increasing and pose a real threat to both individuals and organizations. Overall, staying vigilant and implementing layered security measures is vital in protecting our assets in this evolving landscape. Let's talk about intellectual property loss through oversharing. In today's digital landscape, implementing comprehensive cybersecurity strategies is more important than ever. One key aspect is enforcing strict sharing policies and using secure collaboration tools. These measures are vital to protect sensitive information from accidental leaks or malicious attacks. Now, a common vulnerability comes from cloud security. If cloud service security settings aren't configured properly, it can open the door to breaches and data exposure. This highlights the importance of regularly reviewing and tightening those settings. Another point to consider is employee behavior. Well-meaning employees might share sensitive files or links without realizing the security risks involved. This unintentional oversharing can lead to public exposure of confidential information, which is a serious concern. Most importantly, much intellectual property loss actually happens unintentionally, simply because documents or links are shared too broadly or carelessly. So, fostering a culture of security awareness and establishing clear guidelines can help minimize these risks. All of these elements connect back to our overall goal: protecting our valuable intellectual property in an increasingly complex threat landscape. Let's talk about some key strategies to enhance password security in today's threat landscape. First, it's really important for users to regularly test their passwords against breach databases like Havebeen.com. This helps identify if your password has already been compromised and allows you to change it before any damage occurs. Next, when creating passphrases, think of using unique seed words like yellow birdseed hat pumpkin. These tend to be much stronger than simple passwords because they add complexity and are harder for attackers to guess or crack. The strength of a passphrase is really about using these unique, unrelated words. Another crucial point is global uniqueness. The most important factor is that your password or passphrase is unique across the internet, so it doesn't match any known compromised database entries. This prevents attackers from easily matching hashes to common or leaked passwords. And finally, it's a common misconception that just making passwords longer or more complex guarantees security. While these elements are important, they're not enough on their own. The overall goal is to create passwords that are both strong and unique, complementing other security measures. This way, we can better protect ourselves in this ever-evolving cyber threat landscape. Let's take a closer look at cached credentials exploitation. This is a significant threat in today's cybersecurity landscape. On this slide, we see that limiting local admin rights and enforcing strong password policies are crucial steps in reducing this risk. By doing so, we can prevent attackers from easily moving laterally within the network. Weak or reused passwords are particularly vulnerable because they can be cracked quickly, giving attackers access to more parts of the system. Once they have a password, they can impersonate users and gain unauthorized entry. Another key point here is the extraction of cached hashes. Attackers can pull these cached credentials from workstations, especially when users have local admin rights, making it easier for them to access accounts without needing to crack passwords directly. Cached credentials are a common attack vector, and understanding this helps us realize why controlling local admin rights and strengthening password policies are so important. These measures help protect against attackers who might try to exploit stored credentials to infiltrate our networks. Let's take a closer look at lateral attacks and privilege escalation. Detecting and preventing lateral movement is absolutely critical if we want to stop widespread breaches before they cause real damage. When attackers succeed in moving laterally within a network, they often aim to access highly privileged accounts, like those in Active Directory domain admins. These accounts are prime targets because gaining control over them can give attackers near unlimited access. One of the tools they use is Mimikatz, which allows for golden ticket attacks. These attacks create forged domain tickets that don't expire and grant unrestricted access across the network. It's a powerful technique, and it highlights how advanced attackers are in exploiting privileged accounts. After they gain initial access, attackers don't stop there. They perform lateral attacks to escalate their privileges further. This movement within the network helps them expand their control and reach sensitive data or systems they shouldn't have access to in the first place. So, understanding and detecting lateral movement early is essential. It's a key part of a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy, especially as cyber threats continue to evolve in complexity and sophistication. Let's take a closer look at Zero Trust and how it fits into modern cybersecurity strategies. As threats evolve, the focus has shifted from simply defending the perimeter to continuously validating who and what is accessing our systems. This means we no longer rely solely on firewalls or network boundaries. Instead, Zero Trust emphasizes constantly verifying users, devices, and applications before granting access. The core of Zero Trust is about granular access control. We want to ensure that each user or device only has the permissions they need, which helps reduce the attack surface. Additionally, real-time threat detection plays a crucial role, allowing us to spot suspicious activity immediately and respond swiftly. Now, what are the benefits of adopting Zero Trust? First, it requires explicit verification. Never assume trust based on location or previous access. It enforces the principle of least privilege, meaning users only get access to what they truly need to do their jobs. And importantly, it operates under the assumption that a breach could happen at any time, so continuous verification is essential. The key principle here is simple but powerful. Zero Trust is a security model based on the idea of never trusting and always verifying. This approach helps us build a resilient defense system that adapts to today's complex threat landscape. Now, let's take a closer look at the role of Zero Trust in combating insider threats. This approach is all about enabling us to quickly identify and respond to potential threats from within the organization. By continuously verifying every request, whether it's from a user, a device, or an application, we significantly reduce our risk exposure. Tools like Microsoft Sentinel and Microsoft 365 Defender play a critical role here by monitoring behavior and detecting anomalies that might indicate malicious or negligent activity. Zero Trust isn't just about prevention, it's about detection and mitigation as well. It helps us spot insider threats, whether they're intentional, accidental, or due to a compromised account, and take action before damage occurs. Overall, this strategy aligns perfectly with our goal of creating a resilient cybersecurity posture in today's complex threat landscape. Now, let's look at securing identities and endpoints, which is a crucial part of modern cybersecurity strategies. On this slide, we see how organizations need comprehensive solutions to handle the evolving threat landscape. One key component is providing advanced threat detection and response capabilities, which help us identify and mitigate threats before they cause real damage. Defender for Endpoint plays a vital role here, as it ensures device compliance and checks device health and posture, keeping endpoints secure. Next, we have Microsoft Endpoint Manager, also known as Intune, which adds critical layers of identity verification. This helps us make sure that only authorized users and devices can access our resources. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA, is another essential element. It enforces sign-in controls based on policies and risk levels, adding an extra layer of security beyond just a password. Finally, Azure AD Conditional Access ties everything together by applying policies that control access based on various conditions, like user location or device status. When we combine these tools, we create a robust security framework that not only defends against threats, but also adapts to the modern, dynamic threat landscape. This approach is central to our overall goal of protecting identities and endpoints in today's digital environment. Now, let's look at Zero Trust for applications and data. In today's threat landscape, implementing comprehensive cybersecurity strategies is more critical than ever. One key goal is to prevent unauthorized data exfiltration, which means stopping sensitive information from leaving our organization without permission. To achieve this, we use data loss prevention, or DLP policies, which help us classify, label, and encrypt sensitive data. This ensures that only authorized users can access or transfer it, maintaining confidentiality. Another important aspect is information protection, often through tools like Microsoft Information Protection or Purview. These enable us to apply labels and encryption that safeguard our data across platforms. We also need to ensure that privileges are strictly limited to what each user needs to do their job. That's where role-based access control, or RBAC, comes in. It helps us manage access permissions carefully, reducing risk by giving users only the access they require. Finally, managing our overall security posture and threat protection is vital, and for that, we rely on tools like Microsoft Defender for Cloud. It provides continuous monitoring and defense across our cloud environment, helping us stay a step ahead of potential threats. Altogether, these strategies form a layered, zero-trust approach that reinforces our defenses and keeps our applications and data secure in a complex, modern world. Let's talk about continuous monitoring and automated response. In today's modern threat landscape, having comprehensive cybersecurity strategies is more important than ever. Automation and AI play a crucial role here because they help us scale our security operations efficiently and effectively. When we talk about scaling security, automation and AI enable us to handle large volumes of data and threats that would be impossible to manage manually. For instance, incident response best practices now include retrospective analysis, reviewing past incidents to learn and improve, and alert tuning, which helps us refine our detection capabilities so we can catch threats more accurately. Real-time alerting and automated remediation are also key components. Using tools like Logic Apps and Azure Functions, we can respond swiftly to threats as they happen, automatically triggering actions to contain or mitigate an attack without delay. This rapid response minimizes potential damage and keeps our systems more secure. Finally, Microsoft Sentinel provides a centralized platform for SIEM, or Security Information and Event Management. It leverages AI-driven analytics to detect threats more accurately and efficiently. By consolidating security data and applying intelligent analysis, Sentinel helps us stay ahead of emerging threats and enhances our overall cybersecurity posture. All these elements, automation, AI, real-time responses, and centralized analytics, come together to form a resilient, proactive security strategy that adapts to the evolving threat landscape. Now, let's look at the implementation roadmap for this cybersecurity strategy. First, we need to expand zero trust across the entire organization. This means applying the principles of zero trust broadly, ensuring that every part of our environment is protected and that trust is never assumed, even inside the network. Next, leveraging automation is crucial. By automating controls, we can ensure our security measures are scalable and efficient, allowing us to respond quickly to threats and reduce manual workloads. As we proceed, it's important to iterate and scale automation. This involves continuously testing our controls with specific groups or applications to see how well they perform in different scenarios. Then, we validate the effectiveness of our zero trust model itself, making sure that it's actually providing the protection we need. Moving on, we should pilot our controls with targeted groups. Focusing on identities and endpoints as priorities helps us understand how these critical areas respond to our security measures. Establishing clear policies to guide the implementation is essential here. These policies set the standards and expectations for everyone involved. Finally, before deploying broadly, we need to assess our current environment. That involves inventorying our assets to understand what we have and identifying any security gaps that need addressing. This foundational step ensures that our zero trust journey is built on a solid understanding of where we stand today. Now, let's talk about some of the common challenges and lessons we've learned when implementing comprehensive cybersecurity strategies in today's complex threat landscape. One key point to highlight is that zero trust isn't a set-it-and-forget-it solution. It requires ongoing change management. As threats evolve and new technologies emerge, organizations must continuously adapt to stay secure. This means that security isn't a one-time setup, but an ongoing process of adjustment and improvement. Another major challenge is dealing with visibility gaps caused by shadow IT and incomplete monitoring. When employees or teams use unauthorized tools or when monitoring isn't comprehensive, it creates blind spots. These gaps make it much harder to enforce zero trust policies effectively because you simply can't see everything happening across your network. Managing identity and access policies is also a significant hurdle. The complexity involved can be daunting. It's not just about setting rules, it's about ensuring those rules are practical, scalable, and enforceable across different systems and users. If not managed well, this complexity can undermine the entire zero trust approach. Finally, we often see resistance to change within organizations. People are accustomed to their existing practices, and shifting to zero trust can seem disruptive or confusing. This resistance often stems from a lack of understanding of zero trust principles or from deeply ingrained organizational habits. Overcoming this resistance requires clear communication, education, and demonstrating the value of these new approaches. Connecting all these points, it's clear that implementing zero trust is as much a cultural and organizational challenge as it is a technical one. Recognizing and addressing these challenges head-on is crucial to building a resilient security posture in today's threat landscape. Let's take a closer look at the Microsoft Zero Trust architecture pillars and how they fit into our comprehensive cybersecurity strategies in today's evolving threat landscape. Starting with Azure AD, or Azure Active Directory, this is our identity and access management service. It plays a crucial role in controlling who can access what within our environment, especially when combined with conditional access policies that adapt access permissions based on various risk factors. Multi-factor authentication, or MFA, is another key component. It adds an extra layer of security by requiring users to verify their identity through multiple methods, making it much harder for unauthorized individuals to gain access. Moving on to endpoint management, Microsoft Endpoint Manager helps us manage and secure all our devices. Alongside Defender for Endpoint, we get real-time threat detection and response capabilities to protect our endpoints from attacks. App registrations and OAuth are essential for secure application integration. They enable us to securely connect apps and services, ensuring proper authorization and authentication flows. Role-based access control, or RBAC, allows us to assign permissions based on roles, minimizing the risk of overprivileged users and maintaining strict control over resources. Information protection, with sensitivity labels, helps us classify and protect our data based on its sensitivity, ensuring that sensitive information is handled appropriately and securely. Defender for Cloud offers us continuous security assessments and threat protection across our cloud resources. Complementing this, Azure Firewall provides a robust perimeter security solution, while microsegmentation helps us limit lateral movement within our network, reducing the attack surface. To monitor and analyze our security posture, Azure Monitor and Microsoft Sentinel are vital. They give us real-time insights, alerting us to suspicious activities or vulnerabilities before they become major issues. Finally, Defender for Cloud Apps extends our visibility into SaaS applications, helping us enforce policies and detect risky behaviors. All these pillars come together to form a layered, integrated approach, making our cybersecurity defenses more resilient, adaptable, and aligned with the Zero Trust model. This comprehensive strategy is essential in protecting our organization in this complex and rapidly changing digital landscape. Now, let's take a closer look at the Microsoft 365 Defender Suite overview. As cybersecurity threats continue to evolve, having a comprehensive strategy is more important than ever. This suite offers an integrated approach to detect, prevent, and respond to a wide range of security challenges. One key component is Defender Vulnerability Management. This tool helps us identify and fix security weaknesses across our environment, making our defenses stronger and more resilient. It's about staying ahead of potential exploits before they can cause harm. Within the suite, Defender for Office 365 plays a crucial role in protecting our email and collaboration tools. Since email is often the entry point for attacks, having robust protection here is essential for maintaining trust and security in our communications. Next, we have Defender for Identity. This component safeguards user identities and helps us detect compromised accounts quickly. Recognizing suspicious activity early can prevent a breach from escalating and affecting our entire organization. For endpoint security, Defender for Endpoint provides advanced protection. It secures devices against malware and other threats, ensuring that our endpoints remain safe and operational. Finally, Defender for Cloud Apps, also known as CASB, gives us visibility into our cloud app usage and helps detect threats in our cloud environment. It's a vital part of managing the security of our cloud infrastructure. Together, these tools within the Microsoft 365 Defender suite form a comprehensive, layered defense strategy that aligns with our overall goal: to stay protected in today's complex threat landscape. Now, let's talk about how Microsoft Defender for Cloud Apps has evolved. It is now fully integrated into the Microsoft 365 Defender console, which means you get a unified view and control over cloud app usage and associated risks. This integration simplifies management and enhances your ability to respond quickly. By bringing everything into a single console, it allows us to see threats and activities across multiple cloud platforms in one place. It proactively identifies potential threats and enforces policies to keep our environment safe. Think of Defender for Cloud Apps, or MDCA, as a multi-mode cloud access security broker, or CASB. It acts as a gatekeeper, helping us monitor and control access to cloud resources, regardless of the platform. This integration and role are crucial in today's modern threat landscape. They enable us to be more agile, more aware, and more proactive in defending our digital assets. It's all about providing comprehensive security that aligns with our overall cybersecurity strategies. Now, let's talk about how Microsoft Defender Vulnerability Management supports comprehensive cybersecurity strategies in today's complex threat landscape. The key here is continuous vulnerability management. This approach is essential because it helps us constantly identify and reduce attack surfaces, making it harder for threats to find a foothold. By integrating with SecureScore, organizations can better prioritize actions based on their current security posture. This means we're not just reacting to vulnerabilities, but actively working to improve overall security by focusing on what matters most. Another important aspect is the ability to create security baselines and remediation packages. This allows us to establish standards for security and efficiently address risks across our systems. It's about being proactive and organized in our response. And finally, the tool provides a comprehensive vulnerability inventory. It scans and inventories vulnerabilities across applications, browser extensions, and certificates, giving us a full picture of potential weaknesses. All of these elements work together to build a robust, proactive cybersecurity strategy that's vital in protecting our environment today. Microsoft Sentinel is truly a cornerstone for proactive threat management in our Microsoft cloud environments. It helps security teams like yours respond quickly and effectively to emerging threats, minimizing potential damage. The key here is the proactive approach, being able to stay ahead of cyber threats rather than just reacting to them. Sentinel's AI-driven analytics play a crucial role in this. They empower security teams to identify patterns and detect anomalies that might otherwise go unnoticed. This advanced detection capability relies heavily on Custom Query Language, or KQL, which allows for sophisticated threat analysis. It's like having a powerful detective tool at your fingertips. Another vital aspect of Sentinel is its forensic capabilities. If an incident occurs, you can investigate retrospectively to understand exactly what happened. This forensic analysis is essential for learning from breaches and strengthening your defenses for the future. Sentinel also provides comprehensive visibility across your entire environment. You get real-time alerts and advanced threat detection features, giving you a clear picture of your security posture at any moment. It's about turning data into actionable insights. And all of this is built on a centralized platform. Microsoft Sentinel functions as a SIEM, or Security Information and Event Management System, on Azure Monitor. It collects logs from a variety of sources, including firewalls, switches, Windows, and Linux systems, providing a unified view of your security landscape. So, in essence, Sentinel ties all these elements together to give you a robust, integrated solution for modern cybersecurity challenges. Let's talk about Azure AD Entitlement Management and how it fits into our comprehensive cybersecurity strategies in today's challenging threat landscape. One of its key benefits is that it helps support regulatory compliance by providing detailed access tracking and reporting. This means we can easily monitor who has access to what and ensure we're meeting compliance standards. Another important point is risk reduction. The system minimizes the chances of overprivileged accounts, which are often a major security vulnerability. By limiting access to only what's necessary, we reduce the attack surface. It also ensures that access rights are granted based on policies, with clear workflows for expiration and approvals. This approach keeps access tightly controlled and aligned with our security policies. Furthermore, administrators can create access packages that specify exactly what permissions users receive, who approves access requests, and how long access is granted. This makes managing permissions straightforward and transparent. Finally, Azure AD Entitlement Management provides robust compliance and auditing controls. These features streamline access governance for our Azure resources, making sure we stay on top of security and compliance requirements. Overall, these capabilities help us build a more secure, compliant, and manageable environment as part of our broader cybersecurity strategy. Azure AD Privileged Identity Management, or PIM, plays a critical role in enhancing security by helping us manage privileged roles more effectively. It's all about striking the right balance between providing access when needed and minimizing risk. One of the key features of PIM is that it provides detailed audit logs for all activities related to privileged roles, so we can track exactly what's happening. Plus, the alerts generated by PIM improve oversight, allowing us to respond quickly to any suspicious behavior or potential threats. Another important point is that limiting the amount of time users have elevated privileges significantly reduces the attack surface. This approach helps mitigate risks, especially if an account gets compromised. When it comes to requesting more access, PIM allows administrators to approve or monitor these requests, ensuring controlled and authorized access to sensitive roles. And importantly, PIM manages privileged roles on a just-in-time basis rather than permanently assigning them. Users only request elevation when they truly need it, which further reduces unnecessary exposure. Altogether, PIM supports a comprehensive cybersecurity strategy by making privileged access safer, more transparent, and more controlled, aligning perfectly with our goal to adapt to the modern threat landscape. Implementing multi-factor authentication immediately is essential for strengthening our security posture and protecting our systems from unauthorized access. By deploying MFA right away, we add an extra layer of security that makes it much harder for attackers to breach our defenses. Particularly, adopting passwordless options can be a game changer. Not only do they improve security, but they also enhance the user experience by reducing false approvals and streamlining login processes. This makes it easier for users to stay secure without added frustration. When we talk about MFA factors, there's a wide range, from simple SMS text codes to more sophisticated options like biometrics, authenticator apps such as Microsoft or Google Authenticator, hardware security keys, and even passwordless methods using the Microsoft Authenticator app. This variety gives us flexibility to choose the right level of security for different scenarios. The key point here is that MFA provides a critical layered defense mechanism. It requires users to verify their identity through multiple means beyond just a username and password, which dramatically reduces the risk of unauthorized access. In the context of our overall cybersecurity strategy, implementing MFA immediately is arguably the most critical security control we can put in place right now. It's a straightforward yet powerful step to protect our assets and maintain trust in our digital environment. Let's take a closer look at the Global Secure Access Model and how it fits into our overall cybersecurity strategy. This model is designed to reduce the risks often associated with traditional perimeter-based security approaches, which can be quite limited in today's complex environments. Instead, it offers a modern, flexible way to secure access across diverse and dynamic settings. At its core, the GSA model emphasizes an enhanced security approach through adaptive risk management. What does that mean? Well, it means that access controls are not static. They dynamically adjust based on real-time assessments of user behavior, device status, and the surrounding context. So, if something suddenly looks suspicious, the system can tighten security instantly. This leads us to the concept of continuous validation. Before granting access, the GSA model constantly verifies who the user is and whether their device complies with the security policies. This aligns perfectly with the zero trust principle. Never trust, always verify. Essentially, no one is automatically trusted, even if they're inside the network perimeter. Finally, the GSA consolidates identity, device, and network security into a single, unified platform. This integration provides comprehensive control across hybrid and cloud environments, making security more streamlined and effective. It's about creating a seamless, yet highly secure access experience that adapts to the modern threat landscape. Now, let's look at some practical examples of how we can implement comprehensive cybersecurity strategies in the modern threat landscape. First, we have device compliance and data protection. Using Microsoft Endpoint Manager, we can enforce device compliance policies, ensuring that all devices meet our security standards. At the same time, Microsoft Information Protection helps us apply data protection policies to safeguard sensitive information across our organization. Moving on, automation plays a crucial role in our security operations. For instance, with Logic Apps and Azure Functions, we can automate alert responses, allowing us to react swiftly to threats without manual intervention. This helps us reduce response times and increase overall security efficiency. Next, threat monitoring is essential. Microsoft Sentinel dashboards provide us with real-time visibility into potential security threats, giving us the insights needed to act proactively and protect our environment. We also need to manage access securely. Multi-factor authentication is a key control, and combined with privileged identity management, or PIM, it helps us manage privileged roles carefully, minimizing risks associated with elevated access. Finally, configuring Azure AD conditional access policies is fundamental. These policies enable us to define specific conditions under which users can access resources, adding an extra layer of security based on context, such as location or device state. Throughout this session, we will walk through setting up these tools and policies within a cloud environment, demonstrating how they work together to create a resilient security posture. This comprehensive approach ensures we're covering all bases: device security, data protection, threat detection, and access management, integrated seamlessly to defend against modern threats. Let's take a moment to reflect on the key takeaways from this presentation. In today's ever-evolving threat landscape, having comprehensive cybersecurity strategies is more important than ever. By embracing the right principles and leveraging advanced technologies, organizations can significantly strengthen their security posture. One of the most critical aspects is the role of automation and artificial intelligence. These tools are essential for scaling security operations effectively, allowing us to detect threats in real time and respond automatically through remediation processes. This not only improves our defense speed, but also reduces the burden on security teams. When it comes to insider threats, mitigation strategies must go beyond just detection. Continuous verification, behavior analytics, and anomaly detection are vital in identifying and addressing suspicious activities before they cause harm. And of course, Microsoft provides an integrated ecosystem of tools that enforce zero-trust principles across identities, endpoints, applications, and data. This comprehensive approach ensures that security is layered and consistent across all parts of the organization. Finally, zero trust isn't a one-and-done solution. It's an ongoing journey that requires iterative implementation and continuous improvement. Staying ahead in cybersecurity means constantly refining and adapting our strategies to new threats and challenges. Remember, adopting these principles and technologies isn't just about protecting today's assets. It's about building a resilient, proactive security posture for the future.